What's up everybody, it's your boy George, back at it again with another video. Now, Paso's history can be felt all throughout the city, but one neighborhood in particular tells the stories of its humble beginnings. The Segundo Barrio is considered to be one of El Paso's oldest neighborhood, and at the time, the biggest port of entry into the country, but for many people, a new beginning. Today we'll be visiting the legendary barrio and some of its historical sites. You're watching EP Originals. So what's up guys, it's your boy George. We're here in downtown El Paso. Today we're going to be visiting the Segundo Barrio. The Segundo Barrio is El Paso's second oldest neighborhood. It's also known as the Second Ward or Southside El Paso. The Segundo Barrio is rich with a lot of history. Most of El Paso's families come from there. A lot of the city started from there. And a lot of people say that a bunch of people from the Segundo Barrio are, working class, strong people that just love to help one another and provide for their families. The Segundo was considered one of the biggest ports of entry at the time, especially during the Mexican Revolution when a lot of refugees were fleeing, coming to the United States, trying to escape the violence and the corruption that was going on and their government. So today we're gonna go and visit the neighborhood, visit some of its historical places. I believe the Segundo, they said that there's over 600 buildings that are historical, considered historical. So there's a lot of beautiful murals as well. The Segundo is popular for the murals that tell the story and the history of the city. So we're gonna go and check that out and showcase it the best way that we can. So stay tuned, guys. One of the most important figures in the Segundo Barrio was named Father Rah. Father Rah was a priest at the Sacred Heart Church who, legend has it, would ride around the barrio on a red bike, talking to some of the kids, persuading them to not join the gangs and to come to his events, stuff like that. He was responsible for opening up one of the first boys and girls clubs in the neighborhood and just doing a lot for the community. Even though he wasn't here from the Segundo Barrio, he considered El Paso, Southside El Paso, to be his home, and he touched a lot of lives of many kids. His legacy is felt throughout the whole neighborhood. When we talk about some of the stories and some of the people here, they always mention Father Rah. Some of the older men have stories about Father Rah coming around here and just being really nice and leaving a big impact that is still felt to this day. So even though Father Rah is gone, his impact, they named a street after him, one of the main streets here in the Segundo Barrio, and forever immortalized him with this mural, and then the one that's on Sacred Heart that kind of just describes the neighborhood in general. So thank you to Father Rah for being a local legend here in the Segundo Barrio. Behind me are the Barre apartments. They're significant here in the Segundo Barrio for being the home to one of the first authors of the Mexican Revolution. Mariano Ozuela wrote the book Los de Abajo, telling the story and his experiences. Right across the street, we're here in front of Sacred Heart Church. Now, Sacred Heart Church is considered to be the heart of the Segundo Barrio. It was one of the first biggest buildings that was built here in the area. I believe it was built in 1893. Many refugees, immigrants come here when they first cross the border to look for shelter, to look for help, and the people here in the Segundo Barrio have always been kind, helping each other, especially here at this church. And even to this day, this has been going on here in the Segundo Barrio for the last hundreds of years, centuries, even long before that. And even today in our present time, it's still going on. And the Sacred Heart Church is helping people like it has been doing for the last 100 years. So we're here at the Corazón del Segundo Barrio. So one of the stories that I learned when I was reading some of the history of the Segundo Barrio was the bath riots that happened here at the border in El Paso, Texas. In 1917, the mayor, Tom Lee, at the time, he had like a big germ problem, and he felt that a bunch of Mexican natives that were coming over to El Paso to work, to clean houses and stuff like that, were bringing a bunch of these diseases here to the city, lice and typhus and other different diseases. He thought that the Mexican nationals were bringing them here. So they decided to start practicing this practice where at the border they would spray people down with disinfectant spray and different chemicals. There were stories of people, literally, they would make you strip all the way naked, and you would have to be sprayed with these chemicals in order to come to the country to work. There was a story about a young teenager. Her name was Carmelita Torres. She just one day, she was coming back and forth from Juarez to El Paso. She was a maid cleaning houses. One day she just got tired and was all like, you know what, I'm not gonna take part of these baths anymore. And she was able to convince some of the people that were on the trolley with her that day to, walk out and start protesting. And then I believe a couple hours later, she had thousands of protesters with her. There was stories of people, the border patrol agents and stuff like that, were taking pictures of women naked, and there was even rumors of them putting their pictures in some of the bars here on El Paso Street, and the border patrol's agents would just go and laugh about it and joke and tell the stories, and that was entertaining for them. Some of these people's misery, some of these people's trauma, horrible stuff that they were going through, that was their entertainment. So Carmelita and some of those people, they were able to protest for a while, but even after that, they still practiced those disinfecting baths for probably the next 20 years, even to the 50s and 60s, when they were still doing that, when they were even still practicing that practice on some of the immigrant workers that were coming here to work throughout the whole American Southwest. That little story is always going to be a little dark part in El Paso's history, to be able to think that one of our mayors here thought that the Mexican nationals were bringing a lot of diseases into his country and everything like that. And I mean, tensions around that time were really high, especially in the country with other countries too, because the world was about to enter World War I. So it was just, a really bad time in the history about El Paso. And here on the channel, we're always going to try to, portray the good and the bad and all around the city story. And that's a big part of its story. So a lot of people don't know what happened to Carmelita. If she was, she probably just disappeared after that. Nobody really remembered, or there's no records of her, or they never even had a picture of her. But this mural behind me tells the story of those bath riots. And it's really cool that it's here in the Segundo Barrio, and it sucks that, a lot of people don't know that part of history of our city's history. Even that practice was able to inspire the Nazis, and for what they were doing to the to the Jews, what they were doing to the Jews at their concentration camps, and spraying them down and using all these deadly chemicals and everything like that to eventually kill them. So it's crazy that El Paso ties into that, and just another piece of our history. So we're here in the Armillo Community Rec Center, checking out their basketball gym. Nice little rec that they have here in the Segundo Barrio. I'll show you guys some of my skills real quick. As you could tell, they bricked up this entryway. I believe maybe to condense the rooms and make them bigger so people could live here more comfortably. But you could tell there used to be a door here, doorway entry. Now, one of the buildings that I wanted to show here in the Segundo Barrio is the first Douglas School, or I believe one of the first Douglas schools. The Douglas School were opened to house many of the African American kids here in the Segundo Barrio and El Paso in general. Back then, most of the schools, we all know they were segregated, especially here in Texas and stuff like that. And it was really unfortunate that here, especially in El Paso, some of the African Americans were dealing with that. So most of them didn't have schools, or they didn't, the schools that they were going to were segregated. So they were able to open up this school right here. A bunch of kids here in the Segundo Barrio, African American kids, learned here and were able to, grow their education, participate in sports, and all of that. I believe this is not the first location of the actual first school. I believe the first school was on Stanton and Mesa, but then, eventually they tore that down and then they built this one right here. If you guys know what this building is used for now, let me know in the comments. But here's the first site of the first, one of the first Douglas schools. So guys, I'm actually having a really great time here. We spent the last 2 days here in the Segundo Barrio just walking around, trying to get a feel of the neighborhood. That's what I really wanted to do, was come out here and literally walk every single street. The Segundo Barrio is, the boundary lines are from Santa Fe Street, Paisano Street, the border, and Cotton Street. So all within that little square mile is the Segundo Barrio. And that's one of the things that I really wanted to do in this video, is bring you guys out here firsthand, to be out here to show you guys that it's safe to be walking around here, that people do appreciate you. They do have kind things to say. Of course, if you're looking for trouble, trouble's gonna find you. But I mean, we've been out here for the last 2 days walking around, enjoying it, and haven't had any issues yet. So we're here at the site of the first Bowie High School, originally named Bowie Grammar School, opening up in 1922. Bowie was one of the first schools for the residents here in the Segundo Barrio. Once El Paso's high school started growing, Bowie started growing, with much new students enrolling to the school, which led them to eventually opening up their new campus, which they're currently at and have been for all of these years. So that's it, guys. We just finished leaving the Segundo Barrio. What can I say? It was a really great experience. First of all, learning about the history and some of the important historical buildings there, and some of the stuff that happened there was really dope. And then for us to actually go out there, and for it being one of my first times to actually go out and walk the streets and see every single street, see some of the locals, talk to them, was just really cool to really get a feeling of the heart of El Paso. Segundo Barrio, no matter what anybody says, it's always going to be filled with rich people, people that are hardworking, loyal, and loving, if you ask me. So we had a great experience. If I've missed some stuff, please let me know. There's like a lot of stuff that we probably didn't cover that we could cover in the Segundo Barrio. So probably look forward for a part 2. You never know. But as far as this video, it was a really great experience for us to, be out there for the 2 days that we spent out there. Was really dope. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel. I believe we're almost about 15 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers, and that's a big milestone that I've been trying to reach throughout this whole journey that we've been doing the YouTube videos and everything. And you know me, since the beginning, we just try to use the channel and the platform that we have to paint El Paso the best way that we can. So thank you for coming on this little journey with me. Please leave some recommendations of some more stuff that you want to see throughout El Paso and the city, because like I said in the beginning, the history is felt throughout the whole city, especially when we come here downtown and elsewhere. So appreciate you guys. It's your boy George, and till next episode.